Hi everyone, my name is Ashley Cobb. I'm a graduating senior from North Carolina Central University, and I'm majoring in family and consumer science with a concentration in child development and family relations. I'm here with my mentor slash site supervisor, and I'll let him introduce himself now.
Hello everyone, I'm Michael Farrar, art teacher at Edgecombe County Public Schools, and I work for Princeville Elementary as well as Coker Wimberley Elementary.
Well, starting off, I'd like to thank you for working with me and knowing my circumstances and the situation I was in, and thank you for just taking the time for letting me first shadow you and see how it actually was in the school system.
And I would like to thank you as well for jumping in to the classroom, really taking charge, and coming in and introducing yourself to the kids as well as making a good impression with the children, and just giving them a role model that they can also look up to and see that they have an opportunity to reach to the point that you have as beginning your career.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm just gonna jump right into a few questions I prepared for you. So starting out, can you please give a short biography of yourself?
Okay, well, I am the art teacher. I've been teaching art for about 6 years in Edgecombe County. I started off in middle school, and this is my second year in elementary. So I did 4 years in middle school, and now this is my almost closing out the second year for elementary school. I've always taught between schools, and I've enjoyed it. It's been a process throughout the 6 years, highs and lows as well. And I'm just looking forward to the next year as well as like contemplating what my next moves are career wise.
Have you had any doubts throughout your career?
Many doubts, many times. So when I first started, I was in the lateral entry program, and so that's a program where people who don't necessarily have an education degree, they they basically get their licensure to teach, but they also have to go to school while they're teaching to attain an education degree or to change the degree that they have into one that can fit into education. And because I did that, it was kind of like I was a teacher, but I was kind of like thrown in a little bit, if you could say. And because of that, I had to learn along the way. And so that made it a little bit harder than someone who would already have an education background.
Okay. What's something in your life that shaped you into the person you are today?
Definitely teaching. Teaching has changed me in so many ways. I've been able to see and work at 4 different schools as of now. I've been under different leaderships. I've been able to see different teaching styles as well as experience different ways of life from students. I've taught every demographic as far as students, from very, very wealthy to some impoverished students, demographics as well. It's taught me a lot about how to deal with people, how to deal with interpersonal relationships with students. It's also taught me how people think and how they develop as they mature into adults. So I've been able to get a firsthand look at a lot of different aspects of human development, as well as make connections with the teachers that I worked with, the administration that I worked under, and the community that I worked with as well.
Thank you for answering that question in very depth. Okay, and if you weren't doing this occupation, what would you be doing?
Probably the most ideal is probably I would probably be like some kind of super artist like painter or something in the music industry if I could. Um, I've had a lot of different avenues that I thought my life would take, and teaching actually wasn't one of those. But now that it is, I'm happy to say that I'm a teacher. But there's a lot of different avenues that I would take. If teaching wasn't the thing, I probably would be trying to do something in the arts at least.
Okay, and how did you come about this occupation?
So when I graduated from college, my mom was a teacher, and so she encouraged me to look into teaching jobs, which is something I didn't actually want to do at first. And but she was telling me how at the time and how we still do need a lot of teachers. And so I placed my resume not only at different graphic design places, but then I started to place it with different schools as well. And I got calls back to back, and I sat down for a lot of interviews. And West Edgecombe was my first school that I started working at. They called me back probably within like 4 days of me placing the resume, putting the resume out there, my resumes out there, which was really surprising to me. And so I didn't turn down the job because they said they could work with me as long as I did the lateral entry program. So I didn't turn down the job, and it's just been a learning process. It was a little bit rocky, but I stuck with it, and I stuck with the program, and I stuck with the kids that I was working with, and that's how it happened.
And how do you handle criticism throughout your career?
Had a lot of criticism and a lot of high points as well. When you're a teacher, you're always going to be evaluated. You're always going to continually be evaluated, continually be pushed to be a better educator. So in my career, I've had 3 to 4 evaluations a year. Not all of them are going to be as positive as others. Sometimes mistakes are going to happen in the classroom, and whoever's evaluating you is going to pick up on places where you might be weak at that moment in your life or that moment in time. And so I've had a lot of feedback from principals. My first year especially was when I got the most negative feedback and the most negative experiences as far as being evaluated by a principal or by an administration. And that was because of how I started off in my teaching career. But I always try to use the negativity to push me forward and to use that as fuel to continue to grow and to continue to make changes in my teaching styles to improve the way that students are learning in art class.
If you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what 3 words would you pick?
First word will probably be crazy, because my students will tell you, Mr. Farrar, I'm crazy in the way that I teach sometimes, because I'm not going to give up. I'm going to make sure it's done and done correctly, and I don't care how much time it takes on a project. I'm going to make sure we stick to getting it done, and I stayed on my students about that. Mr. Farrar is going to stick to it even if it gets a little crazy in class, even if the project requires that we have to use paper mache or cut out paper cutouts and it gets messy. It's going to get done. So that would be the first word, is crazy. The second word is, I don't know why this word comes to my head, but relentless, because I'm not going to stop. Like I said, I don't believe in giving up. I don't believe in stopping. I believe in, even though if something is hard, you continue, you push, you fall, you get back up, no matter what. That's always been my motto. And then the last word is probably spiritual, because I do believe that everyone, student, faculty, staff, whoever, whatever career you enter into, it should be something that is good for your spirit. It should be something that you love to do. It should be something that enthuses you. You should use the energy. If it gives you good energy, then it's something that you should be pursuing. So I always believe there's a spiritual aspect to whatever you do in life.
Okay. Who is someone you look up to, and why did you choose this person? Or persons, if it's more than one.
So I look up to my parents. There are many influences I've had on my life. So I can't really just choose one, but I will say my parents have created a foundation for me and really have guided me, sometimes pushed me through life where I'm very much so like, I don't like to change. They've been there to help guide me through the changes that I've been through in my life, all the way up into adulthood. So I really would say without my parents, I know I wouldn't have made it anywhere as far as I have been able to make it as an individual.
That's good. If you were to spend the day with a celebrity, who would it be and why?
And my students know this, and that celebrity would be Beyonce. And that's just because she's Beyonce.
And lastly, to close this interview, what advice would you give your younger self?
My advice to my younger self would definitely be, do not panic. It will be okay. No matter how big it seems like at the moment, if you're alive, you'll get past it. Don't sweat the small stuff.
And that is the end of our interview. I'd like to say thank you for allowing me to work with you this semester, and I hope you have a wonderful school year and a wonderful career throughout your rest of your career of you teaching.
And I wish you the most of luck on everything you do. And I know that wherever you go, you're going to excel and be great.
Thank you.
Thank you.